Hello, this is Z-Man the Vegan, and today I'm going to be responding to Piers Morgan's. Well, this latest video I've seen Piers Morgan talking in. He was talking to a guy named Mr. Broccoli, who is a vegan activist dude who is broccoli. He's got a whole broccoli thing going on. And first of all, let me just say, Mr. Broccoli and I, we would make one hell of a team, okay? Like, I wear green, he wears green, I'm Z-Man, the vegan, he's Mr. Broccoli, and we could come together and make the Vegan Avengers and just educate people about plant-based diets and going vegan and all that, right? Yeah. So, let me get into what happened. So Piers Morgan was throwing out claims like veganism can be bad for your health. It's bad can make children stupider, and if they grow up as vegans. And Mr. Broccoli was basically just saying, well, plant-based diets is good for the environment. And then Piers Morgan would be like, well, do you know the science? Can you explain anything about the science? And Mr. Broccoli would say, well, I'm just a piece of broccoli. And then Mr. Broccoli, one lady was with Mr. Broccoli and called Mr. Broccoli her client and said, well, the scientific consensus is already on our side about global warming, and we shouldn't have to cite the science. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what happened there. And I would say, I think what they got going on there is awesome, obviously. Look, I got something going on here. Z-Man the Vegan, yo. Woo! But I do wish that more citing of science was said. Of course, like me sitting there watching it, I'm like, oh, if I was in their position, I would have been like, bam, UN study that said that we need to cut down on meat and dairy by 90% by the year 2050. Well, the UK and the United States needs to cut down on their meat and dairy consumption by 90% before the year 2050 to avoid the 2 degrees Celsius rise. Global warming, y'all. Okay, it's way more efficient also to do plant-based agriculture. Like, can use about 16 times less water to get the same nutrition, and about way less land, about 16 times less land. I mean, there's so many variables, but generally it's way more efficient. And as far as the claims of children, children growing up and being stupider and shorter, or just whatever Piers said, if I was there, I would have asked him to actually pull up the study, and I would have talked about the study, looked into it, and also thrown up some good points about how the World Health Organization putting out the peer-reviewed statement that a vegan diet is suitable for all stages of life, an adequately planned vegan diet. And then also I would throw in the fact that there's multi-generation. Okay, first of all, I know a multi-generation vegan dude from India in person. And then there's actually many, like, people always say, oh, there's no multi-generation vegans. Yes, there are. There's a lot of people in India that don't consume dairy and don't consume meat. And I mean, it's hard to find ones that are completely vegan as far as no dairy, no eggs, but they're out there. And there's definitely multi-generation vegetarians. Okay, so there's a lot of those points saying that veganism is bad for children, or veganism is unhealthy. It's a lot of the time it's from biased research, or it's just an opinion piece on the blog. So I think Piers was just trying to throw stuff at him and just trying to throw him off. And Mr. Broccoli is just a piece of broccoli. So what's he supposed to do? So if I was there, I would have been like, bam, science, yo. Throw in some facts about sustainability, throw in facts about heart disease, #1 killer. Just Piers at the end saying he's gonna eat a bunch of steak. Like, just throw out the fact, like, look, my friend Piers, hey, look, that steak is wasting so much water, so many resources, and it hurts me right here, probably almost as much as it's hurting you, my friend. Heart disease, okay? Clogging of the arteries, okay? So, but I wouldn't be aggressive. I would just tell him how it is, right? Tell him with love. And that's what I would have done, and that's what I think, and those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? What should have been said. Go look at that video. Go look it up. Piers Morgan, Mr. Broccoli. What would have you said in the time whenever they said, all right, now tell us some science about plant-based diets. Why should we go on a plant-based diet? I mean, I would have said so much. I would have ran through sustainability, and then I would have ran through the health, the fact that my sleep quota went down. I would have put in my personal perspective. My sleep quota went down, more energy. Keys. I gained weight. I opened a whole new door into infinite possibilities with the energy I've had, right? And I would definitely emphasize on not judging them, just being like, hey, look, if you found this to be true, and if you found that statement of children being less well off on plant-based diets to be false, then what's holding you back from going vegan? I would have kind of led into that. But I think Mr. Broccoli is an awesome dude, and I think what he's doing is very intense, and it's grabbing attention, and gotta respect the man for that, right? And I would love to meet him, and I would love to do fight some crime with him, and maybe learn a thing or two from broccoli. You can learn how to grow a lot from a piece of broccoli. Let's save the freaking planet, people!